This presentation is for the digital portal of ZINC 2020 conference, and I feel honored to be part of this conference. The topic of my paper is the association of hyper-competitiveness and consumerism with ecological and social degradation, a need for holistic and responsible approach for environmental and psychosocial rehabilitation. The paper has been authored by me, Amarjeet Kaur Arora, and Arvinder Singh Gagneja. Myself, Assistant Director, Public Instructions, Higher Education, Mohali in Punjab in India, and Arvinder is Associate Medical Director, Psychiatry, BayCare Winter Haven Hospital in Florida in USA. First of all, we'll discuss the topic of the paper, then we will discuss objectives of the study, then the methodology adopted for this paper, analysis regarding consumerism, and results about competitive traits, and then we'll suggest some CE solutions, and ultimately we will conclude the paper. Through this paper, we have tried to expose that in name of economic growth, the degradation in environmental quality and social values is rising high, and it has been tried to bring home that growing competitiveness due to consumerism is driving conflicts about environment and psychosocial values, and the globalization of economy has added fuel to socio-economic denigration. Conventionally, it is considered that poverty, population growth, etc., are some of the factors that cause environmental degradation. But I'm trying to build the idea that it is the luxurious lifestyle, the self indulgence into desires, and exposing the life of people to hyper competitive culture and consumerist values among society, which are not only responsible for ecological imbalance of the planet Earth, but also responsible for psychological disorders among society. Consumerism is performing the role of antisocial virus not only for ecological health but is leading to societal suicide slowly, and more people are falling prey to insecurity in relationships, to depression, to distrust, dissatisfaction, and unethical behavior. Globally, 20% of the world's population owe highest income account, and it is this 20% population which is using 80% of the resources of the earth, and they are producing most of the waste and are posing threat to the environment. Two factors, hyper competitive culture and consumerist values, they are actually exposing life to evil motives, to selfishness, and to the unethical behavior among the individuals. And it is these two factors which are associated with ecological and social denigration. Then, about the objectives of the study, the objectives have been divided into two parts. First is consumerism pattern, which has been investigated in three dimensions. Firstly, to analyze the reactions of consumerists and assess the behavioral characteristics associated with consumerism, like depression, loneliness, self esteem, anxiety, eating disorders, jealousness, etc. Secondly, to comprehend the customer behavior and the influence of different socioeconomic characteristics like the culture, the social class, the family status, and the income level of the consumers. Thirdly, we have tried to correlate the analysis of the studies with the deterioration levels that has been done to environment after buying the material, that is the post purchase usage of the material, the emotional attachment with the product, and attitude toward green consumerism or environmental denigration. Then competitive traits have also been studied in three dimensions. Firstly, we have studied psychosocial features like the level of gloominess, solitude, self-esteem, anxiety, the apprehensions, uh, the eating disorders, negative cultural values. Secondly, we have studied the individual's perceptions, whether the individual has a positive approach or negative approach uh, to win or lose the game of the life. In besting others, whether the person has followed illegal methods to achieve the goals or the person has kept a positive attitude. To study these factors, we have examined for competitive influences 82 undergraduate students which are aged between 18 to 21, and to study the consumerism pattern, we have examined 128 respondents. And to maintain the heterogeneity, we have taken the participants from different social background, different educational level, different emotional attitude, different economic status of the participants, and different age group of the participants. To study the competitive and consumerism pattern, we have designed the questionnaire which has three parts. Firstly, we have demographic and socioeconomic status of the participants, which requires age, gender, occupation, educational level, monthly income, social background, etc. To study consumerism pattern, we have asked 29 questions in which we have asked the kind of products they buy, how much they spend, the frequency of shopping, the time spent in the shopping, and their involvement in the parties, and the motivational factors behind buying the products and services. To study the competitive attitude, we have studied the psychosocial features of the participants. 27 questions have been asked regarding decision making norms pursued by them, the legal and the professional laws followed by them, and to achieve their goals, the procedures followed by them, their tolerance level, their harmony level, and their perception about benevolence, friendship, leadership, sensitivity, stress, and justice. And to analyze the data, we have used statistical package for social sciences, that is SPSS tool. And in our analysis, as far as consumerism is concerned, what we find that extravagance and grandness, they are considered part of individuality, as nearly 69% of the respondents agreed that to show off the wealth and affluence, they spend nearly 20% of their income on just clothing and accessories. Another 20% of income is spent on the celebrations like birthday parties, marriage parties, rape parties, etc. 40% of the income is consumed by only a house building. 12 to 18% of the income is spent upon electronic gadgets, computer games, software, and related products. And I feel that there is an unconscious bias in the mind of the people that money begets respect, power, prestige, and social status. And the spending among the people is a herd following attitude. In this slide, the figure presents the consumer purchasing pattern and the formulation used to do the analysis, and the graph shows the materials, services, and the goods purchased by the consumers. And as you can see, the average amount spent in percentage of the income on the various items. This slide presents the annual municipal waste produced in tons in India, and as you can see, the maximum waste produced is in food grain and horticulture, in kitchen waste, the paper and paperboard waste, and the plastic waste. But as is clear from the graph that recycling is not done at the rate the waste is generated. The rise in consumerism is affecting the social order in two ways. One, it is having detrimental impact on the natural resources of our planet. The second threat that has not gained the attraction of the researcher is the psychosocial problems associated with consumerism and hyper-competitive culture. Under the influence of commercial consumerism, the values of spirituality and integrity in the individuals that have changed to competition and materialism, and that has led to psychosocial dysfunction and demolished the fabric of congruence among the society. To discuss the results of psychological and social disorders that have come into society due to hyper-competitive culture, what we find out is that 90% of the consumers acknowledged that social comparison is the main reason for the adopted habits on consumerism. 52% consumers admitted that they are living the life under stress and anxiety because they cannot meet the global lifestyle through their funds. 62% of the consumers acknowledged that the relationships these days are based on monetary status, and 5% of them they acknowledged that it was the monetary problems that led to the divorce in their life. 43% of the individuals, mostly younger generation aged between 18 to 27, they showed a materialistic and consumer mindset, and they possessed highly negative cultural values, and they showed reckless behavior. 30% of the consumers they felt that the affluent people do the most wasteful consumption. 30% of the consumers who were from rural background they felt that they can't cope with the lifestyle of urbanites. They lacked self-confidence, they had low self-esteem, and they faced emotional adjustment problems in their life. 70% of the people they felt that generally the society is not environmentally responsible, and there is an irresistible fondness for consumerism. 80% of the respondents believed that consumerism is leading to more competitiveness in the society. 67% of the respondents felt that it is this hyper competitiveness that has acquired a broad range of social domain in the last 2 decades across the world. 40% agreed, 45% agreed that there is now higher stress in the life. Due to that, most of the people are living the life of loneliness and they have less close friendship circle. 34% of the people they have the opinion that generally more disciplinary treatment in the childhood make them active in unlawful pursuits when they grow up, and in a tendency to grow importance and recognition they follow fewer laws and regulations. 46% acknowledged that they engage in unethical behavior, and they follow illegal methods to attain their goals in life. Almost 100% of the females they admitted that they have eating disorders and they are over conscious about their body shape. 33% of the people confessed that in the struggle of life, in their journey, gloominess, depression, low self-esteem had been their partners. 73% of the respondents conceded that they follow egoistic and selfish nature and they have least interest in environmental protection, and they didn't feel any guilt over it. To suggest some CE solutions, I would say consumerism involves four primary activities: production, distribution, purchasing, and disposal. And the awareness among all the people involved in all these activities must be raised so that the resources are used efficiently, the value and shelf life of the products and materials is enhanced. At the manufacturing level, the energy and raw materials used should be eco-friendly. Although at manufacturer levels, the organization's profit objectives cannot be denied, but the product obtained should involve less packaging, healthier food values, and less environmental pollutions. Production of materials should be such that they should be more sustainable and pro-environmental. For example, instead of plastic bottles, we can opt for bamboo bottle production because bamboo bottles are environmentally friendly and they have healthier mode for the storage of water. They are easily recyclable and compostable. Further, the governments around the world they should enact the laws so that the manufacturers should also produce environmentally friendly products only. And instead of globalizations, the nations should focus on localization. Furthermore, it cannot be denied that consumers are the key player in implementing this change. Increased awareness and a positive attitude among them can accomplish the goals of sustainability, waste reduction, and maintenance of psychosocial cognition. To bring about the change in the mindset of consumers, we need a bold media and academic people. A culture of buying organic foods should be promoted, local food should be promoted, kitchen garden at home should be encouraged. This can lead to decrease in the use of chemical fertilizers, antibiotics, hormones, and pesticides, etc. Furthermore, consumers should be encouraged to develop the habit of recycling the products. Overconsumptions and desires should be discouraged. The political, social, economic, and academic people they should all come together to make the principles which should be helpful in the sustainability of the society. Furthermore, research is needed to study the effects of capitalism, modernity, individual choices, attitude, nature society interactions. And this research ultimately can be critical in designing the rules which can promote sustainability and psychosocial rehabilitation. To conclude, I would say that it is assertions, obsession, aspirations which are leading to egoism, indifference, and oppression. Hyper-competitiveness has led to social and environmental degradation. So, to stop this, the government and policymakers they need to realize that consumerism and hyper-competitiveness they are the factors leading to social and environmental degradation, and a holistic approach is required where we must strengthen the community bonds, we must create an awareness and educate the people to connect back to nature. Thank you.